And it's 11 a.m. Pacific Wednesdays. That's the Hollow Bone Show time with Phoenix. She will explain, and she will also reintroduce herself, her show, and her amazing guest for today. Phoenix, welcome back.
Hey, thanks so much. I'm Phoenix, and welcome to the Hollowbone with Phoenix. We meet here weekly, and this is where you can hear live channelings that open your heart and lift your energy. You'll also hear conversations with visionary leaders who are walking their own path of alignment and healing transmissions that flow directly from the hollow bone. This is the month where you're going to get all of that, and today I couldn't be more excited to introduce to you Chris Lombard, who is an author, a speaker, a non traditional horse trainer, and I would say he's beyond horse whispering. He is the most amazing gentleman, and I am so excited to bring you on the show, Chris. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, I couldn't be more happy to be here, Phoenix. Thank you for asking me to be a part of this.
Oh, well, you're just, I mean, it was a no brainer. So back in 2024, that was when I first went to, well, I'd gone to the Common Ground Fair before, but that was the first time I heard you speak with your beautiful horse, Tally. And it was her first time out as well. And the two of you were just so magical, so miraculous. I mean, it was just so heart opening. I'm like, this guy is the hollow bone. And so then I heard you again this year, and I'm like, I have to have him on the radio show. I was so thrilled when I came up to you and asked you, and you said, can we talk hollow bone? And I went, oh, he's perfect. So, oh my gosh, you've had quite a transformational journey. I mean, you didn't just wake up and say, I'm going to be a non traditional horse trainer. It just kind of has evolved as most of our journeys do. And I wondered if you could kind of take our audience through the most important salient points of your journey and what has led you to where you are right now, and then tell everybody what you do that is so magical.
Ah, the hollow bone is a term that's really special to me. I connect with it. I feel at home with that, and it's really exciting, Phoenix, to be able to talk with you today and see where the conversation is going to go. All the many places that you can bring us to in talking about horses and life and the hollow bone and what it means. And as you begin here with that question, I think of the hollow bone that each of us are. And when I think about my journey with horses, how I look back on it, and it makes sense, the time that it took and the adventures and the challenges and the joys and the grief. And it's all just clearing out that hollow bone a little bit more each day, each moment, isn't it? Kind of getting in touch with yourself and getting in touch with what's flowing through you as your gift to the world, that is simultaneously the gift to yourself, in your own existence with the horse in that moment. And when I think back to the beginning, it was just being around horses, and that I was 26 years old and I'd never been around them before. And I was going through at the time what I thought was the most challenging time of my life. But Phoenix, when I got around them, um, that all went away. I can't say it went away. It was still there. It was just included in the feeling that everything was okay.
Yeah.
Instead of separating life like the good and the bad, when I was around those first two horses, listening to them eat and seeing them content in their life, I realized that the contentment that they had was something that transcended whatever was going on in the moment. And so there was a peace in that I know just let me be inspired to realize that it wasn't about getting life to go a certain way, that there was a peace that could exist. And further than that, a love of all of life that could exist when you're in that space that I was feeling with horses being there. And so it just started very innocent. I just wanted more of that. I just wanted to
Absolutely.
follow that. I'm sitting here talking to you now and looking at where it all led to, and it feels very, very innocent. It feels like something that's got you. something that's got you, even we can come pretty close to feeling it and understanding it, but it feels even beyond that a lot of times. Something that has an intelligence that knows you, where you're going, the why, the who, what, why, when, where, how, and how it connects to everybody and everything else in all its due time. So I just followed that. I just followed it. And I'd have to say that every step of the way, when I'm able to keep doing the work of getting myself out of the way, of keeping that hollow bone clear, that that every step has been placed in front of me, and I just got to say yes to it. And 25 years down the road here now, working with people and horses all over the world, it still feels just as innocent as that day, listening to horses eat and feeling some sort of peace in their presence and saying, I'm gonna follow that. Mm.
You are so articulate. And I just love how you talk about getting out of the way because that is something that we teach also. That's probably the hardest part about being the hollow bone is getting that head to just say, well, I'll just be the witness.
That is it. And I think it's like anything, it's a practice. And the more you practice it, the better you get at it. The more you know it, the more that your body talks to you and confirms when you're in that space. And you can feel it when you are, it's happening through you, it's flowing through you. And the gift is that you're a part of it, but you don't own it. It's not you doing it. It's a gift for all and everything that existed before and after you. And everything feels timeless. Everything feels, we use the word perfect, but it's even beyond that and it transcends any story of what we want life to be in order for us to feel these things, because that we try to control life and get it to turn out a certain way, so we think we will then be happy and peaceful, and then the days and weeks and months and years go by and you realize you've been chasing that a long time, and it can be sneaky in how we fall into that. But when I truly feel like the hollow bone, and I keep using that term because it's been special to me since I learned about it through Fool's Crow, and Oglala, a holy man who used the term hollow bone, in all his writings and all his teachings. And so he's been a very, very strong teacher. And he's passed away for a long time now, but he's been a very strong presence in my life. And I read his book yearly, Wisdom and Power. And it just is home to me. It speaks of home, and I can really be brought back to this place that we're speaking of. And so I'm using that term a lot right off because it's one that's part of my language here and all of it. And I guess what I'm saying is the more I practice and move through my life, the more I can get in tune, and the more what used to be a long time to get back to it. Sometimes now it just takes a few seconds. You take a deep breath, you see the wind blowing through the trees, you start to get a feeling in your body, and you remember it, and it starts flowing again. And that's the work there, kind of getting out of the trying to control and structure it and make it be a certain way to provide a certain outcome, especially with the horses or anything that we feel is then gonna get us to some special place. But instead, just being in touch with it within and being able to draw upon it from within, and then letting it take you for the ride. Then you just got to say yes and get out of the way.
Okay, so I just have to inject something here. Now, I know this is your gig, but I just have to share with you. This falls under the category of you can't make this stuff up. Okay.
Right.
So now you don't really know me very well. I mean, 5 minutes of my introduction, hey, here's my card. I want you to talk on my radio show. And that was about it, right? So I first heard the term the hollow bone when I witnessed a miracle with Archangel Michael working on my client. And I asked my angels and guides, what was that I was just seeing? And they said that was the hollow bone. Now, that was back in 2018 when that happened. I started researching what's the hollow bone, couldn't find it anywhere. Could not. I looked for 3 years. So that meant I had to figure out on my own, how do you replicate miracles, basically? How do you create the circumstances through which the hollow bone can happen?
Yeah.
Because I knew once it could be replicated, then I can teach it to others, right? It took me 3 years to find Frank Fool's book.
Oh, it's
So,
fine.
oh
Yeah.
my God, when you're telling me this, I'm just like, oh, you cannot make this stuff up. I can't believe this is so amazing. So, back to you.
Oh, I love that. Oh, I love it so much. Like when you told me the name of your radio program and everything else, then I very much was like, aha.
Yeah.
The idea of the hollow bone out there. And it is, you're right. It isn't something that if you Google what is it to be a hollow bone, that a lot is going to come up as far as Fool's Crow's thoughts on it and why he used that term. And in the book, it talks about how Thomas Males, the guy who put it together, talks about how all around the world, different Aboriginal practices would refer to themselves as far as in their medicine practices and everything and in their healings as tubes or whatever their indigenous word would be for that, a tube, a vessel. And the hollow bone in my own journey with it, this was 2019 when I was out in that area.
Amazing.
On Pine Ridge and in the surrounding areas where I had not heard of the hollow bone yet either, but I found a bone out in the fields that I was walking through one day, and it was a little hollow bone. And then somebody, my friend and mentor Ray Wrightsey, had kind of directed me towards Fool's Crow's teachings. And so then right on Pine Ridge, there was a little bookstore at the university, and I saw Fool's Crow's book, Wisdom and Power, and picked it up. And I think within the first pages, he's talking about hollow bone and his term for what that means and how for this for the healing work that we use the word like miracle for everything a lot, it's imperative to not feel like, I guess, for lack of a better term, to feel like it's you doing it, to be taking ownership of it, to be taking ownership and some sort of sneaky ego attachment to that in some way.
Right.
And to feel like and you can just see these healers, they become so humble when they speak of this. They become so innocent and pure and humble, like they would never think it was them doing it, because they know within an instant that boom shuts off the power within an instant.
It is so true.
It's an all and everything. You're feeling all and everything happening through you. You're a part of all and everything. And the feeling of that is there's no bigger gift or feeling you can feel. So it's completely enough that it's happening through you, that you're being a part of it in that way. And the hollow bone, always, it's funny in speaking, I always, there's kind of 3 stages for me that I kind of will go through to get myself into that place. It'll first it's about me getting into the moment, the way that I can fully be in the present moment, mind, body, soul, be in the present moment wherever I am. I believe that's the biggest gift we have it to give it. We always have it with us, and it's priceless. It's our presence and our attention and who and what we wish to give it to. So I get in touch with that. Then the next step is I ask to be a hollow bone. I ask, may I be a clear and hollow bone so that I may be. The third step I go through is maybe of service. How may I serve? How may I be from my heart here and that is endless and infinite as far as what form that might take. But when it happens, it doesn't feel like you're thinking about it. The mind is there kind of in the background, processing the reality of it, but your mind is not there doing it. It's off to the side. It's facilitating. Like I think you and I both here, we don't know what the next words are coming out of our mouth, but we know the feeling of this. And when we're in it, that feeling is enough. It's home. It's a beautiful home that we all share together. And things like honesty, kindness, compassion, feeling of oneness, feeling of safety within some sort of timelessness, all of that comes effortlessly, like bing, right in the moment. It comes right with that feeling of being at home within the hollow bone. And I feel animals, that's the home they know. That's the home they know. The part of us that's human that thinks we're beyond animals is more of that egoic mental thought of like, oh, we can uh, see into the past and have foresight into the future and be aware of our own reality and existence. And we feel that that elevates us in some way. But it's technically, it's just differences. It's just differences. And to help ourselves get back to this strong place of being in life, it's to return to that place that animals are existing from in their daily life. And that part of them that's really beautifully in that present moment, as they all are. And so when I get back to all of that, and in this world of dualistic existence, of polarity, to know this feeling deeply, we also have to know when we're not there deeply. So it's very innocent, isn't it? Where to know when you are deeply flowing and deeply connected and deeply, deeply loving and loved. And we also have to know the feelings of when we're not there and when we're not there. And so what comes with that is a great respect for this life and all the challenges we go through daily that will go on for the whole of our being and the whole of our time here. Yeah.
It's so true. Tell me you're writing another book. I have loved your first two books. And you may have more than two, but I picked up your first two and just you just speak it so eloquently. Thank you.
You know, what's interesting, Phoenix, is your book put itself in front of me um, about 2 or 3 years ago, and it's shot right out there. And I've yet to read through it because
Yeah.
I was just like, I didn't know. I'm like, I know nothing about this, and it just put itself right in front of me when I did like a basic Google search
Oh my goodness.
for the type of book that I was looking for, right? And Google these, I mean, gosh, you could get what, 5,000 results for
I know. What
and
are
then
the
it came up.
odds?
And so then meeting you at Common Ground this year, I'm like, okay, so this is when you feel that gentle guidance of the universe. Your book is something that's going to be in my life here, pretty soon here. And then us having this conversation here. It's beautiful.
Well, wow. So I wrote that, The Hollow Bone, 6 years ago, and then followed it up with The Power of the Hollow Bone 2 years ago, I think it was. And so I just feel like I've learned so much since I have written that. And it really needs a rewrite. So just know that when you're reading it.
I know the feeling. Oh gosh, I know the feeling. Land of the Horses came out in 2013, my first book, and I yeah, I self-published it, and then it went through a publisher in 2021, that version there. And so I look back at it, I'm like, oh yeah, there was so many things that I want to, and I did that. I went through. They let me go through and edit it and all of that, and it turned out to be kind of tough because it was like there was three of us in the book then. It's like me who lived it, me who wrote about it in 2013, and then me who wrote about it again in 21. So I think honestly, if I look back, I love the 2013 version the best.
Oh, yeah, I can see that, the innocence there.
Yeah,
Mhm,
yeah, yeah.
mhm. Oh my gosh, can you believe all these wonderful synchronicities? I mean, you can't make this stuff up, and that's,
And
it's what
you
it's
need the
like.
confirmation, right? Like I feel like the confirmation is just like that gentle hug that, yep, keep walking where you're going, and it pulls you. It's like a spark that just really propels you. Mm.
Yes. Now, I know that the listeners, because I've been talking about for a whole month now, so the listeners are going to be going, okay, all right, enough about the hollow bone. What do you do with horses? And it's not like you're not being the hollow bone with horses. So, how do you be the hollow bone with horses would be a better question.
Um, the put into the words, it's hard part, that's the hard part, right? To put it into words, because the English language I find isn't one of the better. I don't know a lot of languages myself, but from what I understand, from what people have said, and that the English language isn't always the best with having terms and words and terminology to describe um, certain things, whereas other languages have one word or a term that describes like the whole journey of connecting with another and learning from another and learning about yourself. And so, how would I like to put this today? Okay, I think what I'd like to say is there's something with me with horses that I knew them before this life. Um, I know them like I am at home, and this is sometimes, hey, it's not going well with them. It's disconnection happens with horses all the time. Sometimes we're frustrated with each other. Just like in human relationships. But there is a home that I feel when I'm around them that I felt since this first day I was in their presence. And as I've grown older and had other people help me, guidance along the way, helping me to understand things, and as I expand within my own awareness, I realize that I've known them for a long, long, long time beyond this world and this life, and they feel like brothers and sisters. And if somebody said, "Well, what are they with you in this world, Chris?" Well, this comes really quick, Phoenix. The word coworkers.
Yes.
And that word's been coming to me for when people would ask me like, "What are horses to you?" For years and years. What would pop into my mind was coworkers, and I'd be like, "Huh? That doesn't sound very family oriented or very connective, Chris." So I kind of dismissed it, and I'm like, "Why does that word pop in?" But I understand it now because I believe for everything a being has to learn and grow with in this world and expand with, and all the beautiful lessons that when we're going through them, we'd rather not be, right? We'd wish that we'd wish things would just go back to normal, but then you make it through there and you get to what you were being able to grow into and expand into. And then you're like, oh, I would never give back that challenge. I would never change it for the world now for what it's helped me to see and be and embrace within my existence. For all of that, there's been something with horses with me that feels timeless and feels like was born into me in this life, where we are to work together in this world. Just for me and my own experience here, as far as everything that I feel me and horses are to work together in this world to help bring about a greater awareness of three things within an individual, three things: that we are loved, that we are safe, and that we are never alone. And the love is a love that comes up from within. It is a source, creator, universe, godly love for every bit of existence, for every being that comes up from within. And it's never 99%, it's 100%. It's a whole love at all times. And then the safety part is that we're safe beyond our physical existence in this world. We're safe beyond whether we live a life of 10 years or 100 years, whether we live a life surrounded by family and community and security, or we live a life that feels short in that regard. That we are safe beyond that in a way where we can maybe take the world's deepest breath in this world as we go through it. And then the last part is that we're never alone. That feeling of being born into this world, feeling like we're kind of our own individual on our own, that maybe nobody can ever really truly know us or what it's like to be us, or that we can feel pretty alone sometimes inside of these bodies that feel separate from the oneness that we also feel inside. Well, that there's also there's a never aloneness. There's a never aloneness while we go through this journey of being an infinite infinitely different individual that has never walked this earth before and will never walk it again, which is both beautiful and also heartbreaking. But that we're also a oneness. There's a oneness that is with that individuality. And so I feel like the horses and I, that's our work together to bring that about into the world. And so if I'm following that feeling that I first felt back in 2000 when I met those horses, the next step is always put in front of me as far as what we're doing together, whether it be working with people one-on-one with their horses or working with people in a group environment, which is called a clinic in the horse world, where I'll work with 6 people and their horses all at once over the course of 4 days. And and wherever it goes, it goes. But everything is involved in it. There's a lot of circles, a lot of talks, a lot of questions, a lot of energetic exercise, meditation exercises, grounding exercises, and then, of course, working with the horses and experiencing meditational grounding and energetic exercises with them. And it can be on the ground and in riding, wherever it takes us. But the goal is, in one word, connecting with them and experiencing a shared home of love with them, a shared experience of courage and bravery and letting go in the ways that humans can, and helping horses as well to let go of the traumas and pains of life and how that can kind of take shape within us as we travel day to day to day in ways both conscious and also in our subconscious. And helping horses to do that, I find it's one of the more beautiful ways that we teach ourselves how to do it for ourselves and each other. And I find that the work grows every year. I look back at the last year and I'm like, oh, that Chris that started the year he's gone. And I love him. I love him so much because he got me here.
Yeah.
Through all the trials and tribulations and the joys and challenges of the working with the people and the horses, I've grown, and it fills me up in a way where I feel like so excited now. Here comes 2026, and we got so much more to do and so much more to offer. Yeah. So, I really thank you, Phoenix, for asking me that question. I got to answer it here in a way that made me happy. I felt really free in how I answered it. And then thank you for holding that presence for me that I think really propelled me into that. Thank you.
Oh, well, you're just so articulate, It sounds like you've answered that question a million times, but when you're the hollow bone, the right words just float.
Oh,
Yeah.
you got it. Yeah.
So following that, then maybe would you mind telling the story of Tally?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Thank you for leading this conversation the way you are. Gosh, it's almost bringing like tears to my eyes right
Mine
there.
too.
So, I guess to the world, I would kind of be known as a professional horse trainer, right? But I don't use the word training or trainer. It doesn't feel like what I'm doing at all. But if somebody was to think I'm a professional horse trainer, I've worked with around 2,500 horses or so, but I've only ever had one horse walk with me as what you'd call, my own horse, as we say. And his name was Rocky. And I met him in 03, right when I came back to Maine, where my journey helping people and horses began. He was a little full and he needed a lot of help. That's why I was called, just to help him. And there was that feeling of home again, just meeting him. And so him and I walked the world together, and he was my greatest teacher. While Chris was going out and doing his best to help the world and all of that, Chris would come back and work with Rocky and go through all the hard stuff with him and learn so much, and then, go share it with the world.
Yeah.
And as Chris had all his ups and downs, as I was, riding the current of life, and sometimes the waves are big and sometimes the seas are steady, and Rocky was always there the same. He was always his namesake, I guess, Rock. He was my rock. No matter if I would come back doing something saying, oh my God, Rocky, I can't believe I was doing it this way with you. I've learned such a better way here now. I'm learning so fast. he wouldn't hold it. I look back at those early years and the younger version of me, I had a lot of, um, frustrations at times in life. And what I found with horses is that I was being loved for how I was with them. People loved how I was with horses and the demonstrations we were doing, and they loved the work I was doing with them. So that filled in the holes. The parts of me that were unloved, that I wasn't aware of yet, and the parts of the whole. Well, when the world is loving you for something, that fills them right in. You don't got to do the work anymore. You feel like you're just getting it all from the outside there, as long as you keep that story alive, as long as you keep that reputation, right?
Right.
And so I was really learning a lot in those first years. And Rock was with me for 21 years. And so he saw so many incarnations of me. And he was always steady, Phoenix. He was always the rock. He was always there. It was beyond forgiveness. It was like he knew it was his part to play, his hollow boneness for me, and how he could help me was to always be there, steady and strong and secure underneath me, with me, beside me, no matter what I was going through. And in like right around 2019 or 20, I started to feel another horse coming, which was a big deal. I was like, huh? What? No, Rocky's my guy. So the feeling kind of scared me. I kind of brushed it off, like, what? No, I'm not. Like it's Chris and Rocky. I had no need to have any other horse. The bond I felt with him, I felt it wouldn't be fair to another horse. And so I started feeling another horse, and they felt like a mare, and they felt like they were going to be wild. And Rocky was going through some health issues in like 19, 20, 21. And I thought, well, no way. I'm not. Well, he got Cushing's, which is a benign tumor on the pituitary gland, which just changes your lifestyle a little bit. And he needed some help to kind of get back to steady. And so I didn't even think of another horse coming. But then right in 2023, he started getting real healthy. He got the healthiest he had been in like 3-4 years. And so I felt that door open. And a horse named Tally from the Maine State Society of the Protection of Animals was kind of offered to me. And I felt it. I'm like, I think this is it. And so I went and I talked with Rocky, talked with him, and he was like, let's go, let's do it. And I'm like, all right, buddy, I'm going to need your help. She's young. She needs a lot of help. She's had a really hard start in life. Really, she's been through a lot of things. She was on the Texas-Mexico border, bound for horse slaughter, going to travel across the border. And she's had like 6 owners in 5 years and has lack of eyesight in one eye, a major deformity on her face from some sort of injury long ago, about 40 scars on her, melanoma. She just was, but I felt something in her presence, Phoenix, that I'd only ever felt one time before. And that was when I was with Rocky. And this is thousands of horses. So everything's saying yes inside, right? But the mind's got to do its due diligence. And so I talked with Rocky a bunch, talked with her a bunch, and it was a go. And so we made the date. I was going to pick her up on a Friday, I think it was. And the week before that, Rocky passed on out of nowhere. About a week before it, I saw him in the morning and left for about 3 hours. I saw it was around lunchtime, around noon, actually, is the last time I saw him. Threw them some hay, him and his buddy that he was with named Cole. Came back around 4, and the whole evening and night was epic. He ended up colicking, which is a way that a horse can kind of twist their intestines. And based on the Cushing's that he had, one of the ways that affected him was it kind of degraded his intestinal walls a little bit, which can be common for Cushing's. And so he just rolled. He went for an innocent roll. It was spring. He rolled to kind of itch his body, and twisted his stomach in a way that we took him in for emergency surgery and other things. And it was an epic evening, a beautiful, beautiful heartbreaking, painful, grieving, loving evening. It's hard for me to just skip over the epicness of that night and everything that happened. But he ended up passing on. And so Tally came a week after that because Cole was there alone, and it wouldn't have been right to have him stay alone. He was kind of being like really worried and anxious being a horse alone. So we decided it's still Tally coming, why not? And it was like a magician's trick. Poof, Rocky was gone, and in his place appeared this 6-year-old Andalusian mare named Tally. And the reason why I felt to tell the story of Rocky before answering the question about Tally, is who you originally asked about, is to say my journey with Tally, because I talked about how much support she needs. Tally needs me to be her Rocky. In those first months with Tally, it was hard. I was still grieving Rocky. And this horse deserved to be loved and be somebody's one horse that they cared about and had their sole focus on. And she needed that. She's very wild. She was untouchable when she first came here to Maine. And so she just needed a lot of support and filling in with patience and time and being there for her, no matter where she was at, mentally, physically, or emotionally. She needed support in all of those ways. And I felt like, oh, dude, my horse just died. I don't know how much I have to give. So I felt drained at different times. I felt frustrated at different times. There was a time where I felt like, I don't know if she's supposed to be here. Maybe she's supposed to come just for a month or two, and I'm just helping her get where she's going, and it's somewhere else. And it got tough. But there was a time where I was sitting with her in the stall, and she laid down with me. And for a horse to lay down in your presence, they have to really feel completely open and safe. She laid down and we just breathed together, and then she fell asleep. And while she was sleeping, it came to me. I'm like, I need to be for her what Rocky was for me. And it was like an immediate download, Phoenix, because for 21 years, he had taught me. He had taught me how to be the rock for another one. To go through your own life and your own growing and your own ups and downs, certainly, but how to be a steady, secure, always there in your support and love presence. And once that came to me, Phoenix, once I said, that's what I'm being called to do right now, is to be her rock, it like all clicked into place, like the last puzzle piece on a 1,000-piece puzzle, right? Where that's it. And it was like this download of like, yeah, just be for her like Rock was for me for 21 years. And me and Tally started flying after that. We started flying and everything clicked in place. She became that horse for me. I could feel Rocky still there, powerful, more powerful there with us now, helping than he would have been in his horse body. And then some, and then some. And it all made sense, and every door seemed to open with a letting go of the past and the processing of it, instead just feeling secure enough to walk forward with both legs now, eyes forward. And that was, we've been, me and Tally, it's been a year and a half that we've been together here now, and it continues to fly. I love that horse with all my heart. I could just eat her up.
It's a
The one
beautiful.
thing, for everything she's gone through in her life, her open heart to want to connect with others is undisturbed. It's untainted. I've never seen anything like it. She's gone through a million hardships, but she loves love. She loves connection. So yeah, I just love her. Thanks for letting me tell that story.
Oh, well, it's such a beautiful dance watching the two of you in the arena. It's so respectful on both accounts. You know, you honor each other, you revere each other, you connect from the heart with each other. It is an unbelievable dance that I've never seen anywhere with anyone and their horse. Whew.
Thank you for that. Thanks for the the demonstrations, the time we spend there at Common Ground Fair is very special for me. It's a great area or spot. I find the people that gather around that ring there are very much like yourself. You're really able to see what's going on underneath the surface, and this is regardless of people have, if any, they have any horse experience or not, which is amazing to me because that means we're all looking at a universal language that
Yes.
transcends species. So you seeing that goes straight to my heart.
Oh, it, how could you not see it? You know what I mean? I mean, how could anyone not see it? But I understand what you're saying. It is so far removed from traditional horse training that you would expect the audience to be like throwing up their hands and walking away, going, "This guy's crazy. He doesn't know what he's doing." But that's not the kind of person that comes to the Common Ground Fair, first of all. They are all about heart, heart opening experiences. I mean, it's the most loving place I have ever experienced. I mean, it's on over 200 acres and it's just all love. It's incredible. So, but for me, you were like the icing on the cake. Because I've always loved horses all my life, and I wasn't able to really get a connection with them growing up. And it took me until my 40s to even have the courage to learn how to ride safely, and, with someone who also loved horses and could speak to them from the heart. And so that made a huge difference for me too. But seeing you has elevated it, my awareness of how we can work with other sentient beings who are so much bigger than we are in so many ways, that it's like, oh, yes, reverence for all life. You are living it and you're teaching it. Right? I mean, this is what you teach at your clinics, basically, no matter what direction it goes in.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like, I don't know, Phoenix. Like one of the things that I realized I was going to love about our conversation here is some of the places we could take it.
I know, right?
I feel the part of me that feels those words that you just spoke of, like the reverence for all of life and the connection of all of life, and the connection that we have that transcends differences of species, where there's an equality
Yes.
amongst us and all beings. That feels like I know it like from forever. That feels timeless in me. Being a human, not so much.
I so get that.
Right? Right? Like I feel like I'm young.
Yeah.
Like I'm 51 years old right now, but the idea of being human here feels young to me. I feel like a lot of the things I'm learning feels like young kind
Yeah.
of lessons about what it is to be human in this human world and all of that. And I love it. I love humanity and being human and humans. Yeah, yeah, I love that. But I just always notice that difference in me. You can't put words on it, but you can feel it. That's
Yeah.
the best thing is you can feel the body talking to you, and you're like, oh yeah, the horse thing I feel like is timeless, and the human that's learning about how to live these practices within being a human, that feels like a really young learning journey for me.
Yeah, you probably didn't originate from this planet. I talk to a lot of people about, where did you come from?
Right.
Different star systems have different ways of living, and I believe that many times we come from our different star systems to come here and help to, bring the message of love and respect and honor and trust and truth and all those high wisdom words, that it, when you look at our 3D reality, that isn't always the 3D reality, but it is the message that is being brought to the masses, right?
Absolutely.
Hmm.
You can see it and feel it right there.
Yeah.
Um, oh gosh, like the idea of bringing other dimensional ways of living and seeing and being in this world, it kind of fixes everything. That's how good it needs help
That's,
right now. When you get a handle and feel for all of those different ways of kind of being in this world, like it just um, you can't have a feel for the 5D way of being without being honest, respectful, connected, kind, and caring for your fellow beings around the world. It doesn't compute, it doesn't.
That's right.
So and you can't, whether it be from my own learning or anybody else's, you can't be told these things. They can't really be taught. They can only be experienced and born from the inside out. So it's more just sharing space in a way where your presence can inspire that, where the your own ways of living and the exercises and just the things that are kind of supporting that platform for that growth to happen in its own time. That's the main thing, and that's circles me right back around. That's exactly what Rocky did for me.
Held
Hmm.
space for you, and now you're holding space for Tally.
Yeah,
It's so
yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah, he didn't need me to be anything other than I was. He didn't say, "Come on, Chris, catch up." Like so. I always remind myself with that. I'm like, "All right." In order for me to kind of best help the world, one of the things I can do is to not see anything wrong with it with where it's at, and that can be sneaky, right? We can really think like the world is in a tough time,
Mhm.
and yeah, it might be challenging, sure enough, but
Mhm.
can I also see that there's nothing wrong with it? That just like the journey of one singular being, so is the world. The humanity is a whole, and right before positive change happens, usually it's a pretty muddy, murky time where a lot is being deconstructed, and so it's because it's not serving anymore, and rarely are we ahead of that. We don't self-challenge and choose that really well. We don't say, "Oh, everything's going well right now. I guess I'll purposely blow it all up so I can." No, it's usually the other from the outside in, and it's serving us, and it feels like it's no good. We want it to stop, but boy, every time I realize it's truly serving me. All this tough stuff, it truly is to get me where I'm going. Mm.
Absolutely. Now you're at the point in your journey where you're pretty maxed out with your clinics. You're pretty maxed out with the numbers of people you can help. Um, you might want to be writing more books or you might want to be doing more speaking engagements, but it's about having time. What do you see for your future coming up that's going to be part of your evolutionary journey?
Ah, well, I can feel the last 4 or 5 months I've become very aligned. I've become very aligned, very grounded, very seeing, and very strong in my forward path. I came out of a harder, challenging time that really lasted about 3 years. You think you come out of it, you think you're out of it, but it's just kind of the tail end. You're still in the stream of the comet.
Yep. Yep.
It takes a little while. And so the work with horses and people, I feel so ready to go. I feel like the year just ended as far as the clinic work, but I'm ready to roll for 2026. And then you mentioned the writing. I
Mhm.
started writing a book a couple years ago, and half of the book took me about a year and 10 months. And then the second half of the book took me 2 months. And I finished it just a few weeks ago. And it has been the most electric and exciting and fulfilling writing process that I've ever been a part of in my own writing. These last 2 months, it flowed out of me. I couldn't wait to get back to it. Um, so and I really feel like I'm ready to just let it out there into the world. So I think I'm going to self-publish it and let it come out in, I think, March.
Oh, that is fast, and isn't that fabulous?
Yeah. Sitting with it right now, and rereading it, I find for me, I have to put it down for a while and kind of forget about it and go back and reread it where I'm where you're like reading it for the first time. And
Exactly.
really making sure it's flowing and speaking how I'd like it to. And then if all goes to plan, yeah, in the spring that'll come out.
Wow. That's what I love about self-publishing. Traditional publishers need a year and a half to make that happen, but self-publishing is like, boom, it can be done quickly. Yes.
And I didn't see much of a difference. When Land of the Horses came out, I self-published it, and then it came out in 21 through a traditional publisher.
Mhm.
And I didn't see much of a difference as far as the reach and exposure and everything. I think the day and age, it's kind of caught up where how tied we are around the world in all these different ways, whether it be social media or internet and all these other things. That exposure, if we want to call it that, or just getting the word out about different projects,
Yep.
you can do it. You can do it. And there's enough books out there now and resources. And self-publishing has become a trusted and quality way, as well as how these things are done, that I'm excited about. Like you said, self-publishing it. I want to kind of get it out there, not wait the year and a half where I'm a different person
It's
when
true.
it comes out. I'm like, oh yeah, that book from a long time ago. And as well as the feel of guiding it the best way you can. And I love collaboration, I really, really do. But with certain personal projects, it's best to keep your feel on the whole project as it comes out.
So, how will you let the world know about it?
Oh, same way. I love for me, I love social media because I love writing and
Mhm.
I love photography
Mhm.
and I love connecting with people.
Yeah.
So that's how I use social media. It's a good outlet for my heart. My words can get out there and a picture that goes with it and people and we can connect that way, I find. So I have a healthy relationship with social media. Unless sometimes I notice if I'm feeling like a little off in life, I do the endless scrolling thing, and that's like this. Wait, this doesn't feel good.
Oh,
So that's
exactly.
yeah, that's the downside of it. But what
Mhm.
it's meant to do, how it's meant to kind of connect us. It's like any tool. If you kind of use it from your heart, then that's my number one way of kind of reaching out to people around the world. Is there another way? I don't think
Well,
so.
I
I guess
think we should have you.
events like this, yeah.
Yeah, we'll just have you back in March or whenever you publish. Yes.
I love because I feel like there was like a whole bunch of things I wanted to ask you and and
Oh,
to dive deeper a little bit into horses and where they come from and why they're here. And
oh.
you just talked about coming from different places around the universe in order to take a little journey to help some other place, help a different planet from that you're used to and all of that. And so that's the stuff I'd love to talk about sometime too.
Oh, good, good. Well, I think we need to have you back. Oh, this is fabulous. And I'm just being aware of time. So, for now, do you have any last words you would like the audience to take with them?
First, I'm really super thankful. I'm super thankful to you, Phoenix, for asking me to do this. And I'm really thankful for the energy that's in your presence because I spoke about um, where I come from with horses, I think in one of the more freeing, heartfelt ways that I ever have in one of these interviews. And so I really think that your presence is something that allowed that to happen there. So thank you for what you do there and that, and for what you do for others in this program and in your work. That kind of presence is sacred. Thank you. And then for everybody listening out there, everybody that kind of joined us to connect in some way. I can't see anybody's faces, but taking a moment and feeling you and just sending love, sending the big three there. You are loved, you're safe, and you're never alone. And it can be a struggle sometimes to get back to that feeling, but when you do get back to it, then you have a deeper tie to it. It's worth it. It's very, very worth it. And just I'm with you. I'm with you all in all of our journeys in this.
Oh, that is so beautiful. Thank you for your beautiful words and thank you for sharing your energy on this interview. It has been so delightful and I can't wait to have you back again.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for asking me.
Absolutely. And for our listeners, just letting you know what's coming up next week, we are having a transmission from the Hathors, which are 5th to 12th dimensional beings here to help us reach our highest destiny. And you cannot make this stuff up. Their topic is reverence for all life. The whole month has been like that, where it's just like, oh, you've got to be kidding me. This is just crazy. I love it. So I'm loving the miraculous synchronicities that happen when we step into this place. I love the effect that it has on people all around us, whether or not we say a thing. It's just through the presence, and it is my mission to bring love, healing, and miracles to the world through the hollow bone. So thank you for being a part of that, Chris. I so appreciate you.
I appreciate it too, Phoenix. Thank you.
And thank you to Nicole, our behind the scenes director, who made this happen.
Thanks, Nicole.
My pleasure. Great show, you guys. Woo. And just a reminder, Phoenix is all linked up at newsforthesoul.com and back again next Wednesday. I look forward to the next session with both of you. That was awesome.